So what I'd like to do now is really jump in and show you, what this could look like. Okay, so we're going to have a look at something in ThingWorx that's really around, how do we understand our connected products and really see how they work. Okay, so let me just load this up. So what we've got here, bring that over. So this is an example of the sort of thing that companies can build, right? So here we're looking at some connected products. So in the heavy equipment industry, we're seeing much more of this. Is that you don't buy, in this case, a tractor anymore. What you buy is you have some sort of lease. You're actually buying hours of uptime, right? So you take that tractor. There's a service contract. You're responsible. The manufacturer is responsible for the uptime and service of that to keep your hours going. So as the manufacturer of that, obviously it's in my best interest to make sure that I can identify and correct any problems before they start to happen. Okay, so I can remotely service, diagnose, whatever it might be for my products. So in this case, we've got a bit of a dashboard here that we're looking at, which gives us an overview of our products. So we can see a map of location. We can click onto these devices to understand what's happening. We can see real-time information on that particular piece of equipment. We can look at maybe a bit more detail on its specifications to understand that a bit better. Okay, so I can really see the overview of that. But maybe we want to drill down and look at more details into this. So if we go into the details, now we start to see the types of information that we can connect. So one of the big things about ThingWorx as a platform that we're not really getting into the nitty gritty of that today is it's really around connectivity, okay? The ability to connect to things. So that could be the physical assets you've got there in the field, the sensors that are on your equipment. It can be systems, whether that's your CRM system, your ERP system, weather systems out there, databases that are online, whatever that might be. So in the case here, we're looking at our tractor in detail. We can see, the customer who's actually got this particular tractor, right? If we click on different tractors, we can see different bits of information that's being pulled. Okay, so we can see who the customer is. We can see the current speed, RPM, so stuff coming off our engine management systems. Temperature. We might be looking at things like the local ground temperature, which is maybe coming from a weather service based on GPS location. All of that kind of information. We can see information over time, the hydraulic pressure, speed, RPM, all of these critical values that we know are important to us. So it's a matter of setting up the system to show that to us when we can click through on these pieces of equipment. So that can give us insight. So we can see here where we've got, levels where we've got warning levels. So we can see we're getting pretty low, we're at that. So configure the system so that when it drops below that, that can trigger a service alert, okay? So, so on that side of things, we can see the status of this, right? So we can see, it's come up with a log saying, okay, it's reached a service interval, so we now need to go and schedule a service call, okay? We can actually look back at service orders. So maybe we've connected ThingWorx into our CRM system, our service, where we do all of our service management. So we can see that we've got these service orders that have come through. Diagnostics, okay? So maybe we want to remotely diagnose software faults that might be on the device, because obviously more and more things are smart with this software. We can look at software details, we can run tests, we could maybe even upload new software bundles onto the system. Look at Tesla's a very good example of that, where they roll out across the air, updates to the software that helps define the car, okay? So we've got a whole bunch of information. So the idea of this is really to let us see and connect into our product, to better understand what's happening, to define these alerts, to better understand, what critical cases there might be, and to react to those in a better way. So you can see here for this particular tractor that Cindy was running, we got below pressure. Okay, so we scheduled a service call out there to get that happening before it dropped down to the critical stages of things. Okay, so this is the type of thing that we can build, the type of information that the customers are out there gathering to really help them understand what's going on with their products, to better service their customers, to better look after them.